Here's a preview of what you'll hear on this episode of Beyond the Wheel.
Extended warranties, extended service contracts, people love them or hate them, right? And we're not here to really tell you which way to go with that. We're not looking to take the people who really don't like them and bring them over and all of a sudden you love them. What we're really here to do is educate our clients, our customers, what they are, what they cover, what they don't cover, and at least be able to provide that insight.
Now enjoy the show.
You are listening to Beyond the Wheel, a podcast about the people and ideas that drive the RV community forward.
This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety, so go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.
Whether your adventure is on the road, on the water, or off the grid, Battleborn Batteries keep you out there longer.
Hey everyone, today we're joined by Jim Hoffman, Vice President of Wholesale Warranties. Jim explains who could use an extended warranty, how wholesale warranties can customize a plan that best fits your needs, what is covered and not covered under their policies. Jim also explains why educating the consumer is so important to the company. And we dive into the inspiration for starting the company. So without any further ado, let's get this episode started.
Hey Jim, welcome to the show. And if you could just start out by telling us a little bit about yourself and your role at Wholesale Warranties.
Well, hi guys, my name is Jim Hoffman. I'm Vice President here at Wholesale Warranties. We are a direct-to-consumer extended warranty company.
So when we're talking about warranties, I think some people shy away from them, or maybe they cringe a little bit when they hear the word warranty. Could you kind of describe, like, not so much what a warranty is, but what's the difference between, say, a manufacturing warranty and an extended warranty?
You know, first and foremost, I agree. Warranties, you kind of either love them or hate them, like them, don't like them. And obviously we understand that being in the business. The term warranty is typically associated with like a manufacturer's warranty, which is somebody built something and they're going to ensure that it lasts for X amount of time and stand behind their product. What we offer and what's known as kind of aftermarket is an extended service contract or vehicle service contract. And what that basically is and how that's different is the manufacturer warranty, kind of like I said, is there to ensure the product that they built, stand behind it, fix what goes wrong. An extended service contract is basically an agreement between an administrator and an end user that says for these particular scenarios or items, if they fail or break, then they'll be repaired under that plan. So it gets a little bit different and gets a little bit unique in the terminology. We represent ourselves as a wholesale warranty or an extended warranty because that's kind of the household vernacular. Mm-hmm. But really, when you strip down the details, most products that are out there are extended service contracts. They're just named as an extended warranty.
Oh, I'm glad I asked you that because I did not realize that. I am usually a person that, like, you know, you're at Home Depot and they're like, oh, do you want to put an extended warranty on whatever this tool is? And I'm usually like, no. But when we bought our RV, it was the first time I was like, yes, we definitely need, and I would have called it a warranty at the time. We definitely need a warranty because of there is just so much that goes into these RVs, component wise, electrical, plumbing, mechanical. I was like, yeah, this actually makes sense. So that was the first time I've ever been excited about getting some type of extra protection on anything has been for an RV, but I didn't realize that difference. I'm glad you took the time and explained that.
Yeah, and on that too, you know, we understand that they're extended warranties, extended service contracts, people love them or hate them, right? And we're not here to really tell you which way to go with that. We're not looking to take the people who really don't like them and bring them over and all of a sudden you love them. What we're really here to do is educate our clients, our customers, what they are, what they cover, what they don't cover, and at least be able to provide that insight. Because I agree with you, Ken. Like there's oftentimes where I'm like, yeah, I don't need the extended warranty on the $15 widget I just got at Target or Home Depot.
Yeah.
But when it comes to an RV, house on wheels, that might make sense for, certain people out there, because there are a lot of different things on each rig. And as we know, they're just getting more fancier with more buttons and levers and all sorts of stuff.
And price tag.
And and we haven't even hit the real inflation with the pricing yet either, with raw materials and stuff. So that will be a little bit of a hit probably in late 22, beginning of 23.
Yeah. So what is typically covered when somebody gets we're going to call it a warranty for this podcast, but extended service
Sure.
contract? What's covered by that?
To kind of do a high level view on it, an extended warranty covers the mechanical components. And the best way to look at that, I kind of use two analogies in everyday life. And one is, for an RV, the awning, right? An awning will extend out to provide shade and go back in, similar to a slide, what have you. So the aesthetics of it, or the actual cloth covering on the I already forgot what it was called, an awning, the cloth portion of it is not covered, but the actual mechanical component that moves it in or out, those are the things that we protect. Another example that we use recently in a discussion here at the office, for those that can remember, like a crank window, when we used to actually have to manually put our windows up and down, the little piece that came out of the door, that's not actually the lever that moves it, it's the teeth inside, right? So that's the component, that the mechanical component of kind of those two analogies. So that's what they're there to protect or to repair for when they break or fail.
I assume that when people are looking for extended warranties, they may not want, like the whole shebang. Maybe I'm comfortable fixing those slide out motors myself, but if my transmission in my Class A motorhome goes, or, something fails on the chassis, I may want coverage for that, extended warranty coverage for that. Are there different levels of coverage that are offered with extended warranties?
And that's a good question, because everybody has their own level of kind of do it yourself, right? And I should have also mentioned on the last question with the awning, maintenance items like oil changes or light bulbs, those aren't covered with a warranty. But as it pertains to kind of the do-it-yourselfers, right? I'll use, again, our small company here as an example. Our owner and founder, he knows his way around an RV like the back of his hand. I am literally like a deer in headlights. It scares me to look at some of those things. So there's just a different level of understanding or ease when it comes to that. There are different levels of coverages, from your kind of all-inclusive all the way down to the big ticket items. So like engine and powertrain only, right? Like the big ticket items. I think for what the feedback that we've received from a lot of our customers, the do-it-yourselfers, that's awesome that you're able to do that. However, there are coverage options out there even for those individuals. Plus, there's always the chance, and for those listening, I'm sure it's happened on more than one occasion, your breakdown is typically not at a convenient place. You're typically traveling while you're doing it. And the risk that you run, or the situation you might find yourself in, is that you may not have the tools or the lighting or the things that you have at home to be able to confidently repair those things. And while I can only recall some minor breakdowns in auto, those are still stressful times. And so even some of our do-it-yourselfers will say, I want to be able to contact somebody when I'm on the side of the highway or in these back roads who might have the tools available, parts available, what have you. So kind of long-winded, but there's probably about 4 different types of coverage that you can get. Everything from kind of an all-inclusive to kind of a listed component, as known in the industry, down to just the shell or the top of the frame, and then underneath with the engine and powertrain. But I think that's one of the main benefits that we try to offer, is that when you give us a call, we'll go over all those options, based off your rig and the age and all those things. We'll be able to have that conversation so our clients are informed on the different levels of coverages, what comes with it, what might not, to be able to educate our end user or our customers.
It's good what you said too about the DIYers and what you can only bring so much in an RV. You're limited to. So a lot of times you bring some tools, but you can't bring obviously all your tools. So that's a great point. What about when you're talking about coverage? Does it matter if it's a towable, like a fifth wheel compared to, say, a Class A? Is there different coverages for the 2 different types of RVers?
There are. I mean, the motorhome is going to have more options because there's more components, right? There's the engine component of it. And typically, whether it's with wholesale warranties out at your local dealership, you'll get different levels, which is an exclusionary that basically says all these things are covered, or a listed, which I actually have that the wrong way. So you'll have an exclusionary, which is everything's covered except for these particular items. And then you have listed, which is just these items are covered. And then, for a motorhome, you obviously have your engine and chassis. I think the biggest thing is that we're able to, the information is out there, and it's just to educate the RV owners that these policies are out there. It's not always just a one-stop shop.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. So it's not just like you guys don't just have, from what I'm hearing anyway, you guys don't just have one big blanket coverage. And this, somebody calls and says, hey, I want coverage. And you're like, well, this is what we offer. And that's it. So you guys can really kind of like piece together a coverage that's really perfect for each individual and the way they travel and what they're traveling in.
Yeah, so different than the analogy we use with Home Depot or Target, where it's like, hey, do you want a warranty for this widget? Wholesale warranties, as a broker, we'll go out to different admins, or admins have been coming to us as well saying, will you offer our product? And the company has been pretty stringent on what administrators will offer, and there's got to be some little things that we just won't negotiate with. Mobile mechanic is one. The warranty company has to be backed by an A-rated insurance company, an insurance company who, where one of the warranties kind of got a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth in the 70s and 80s, because warranties, a lot of money went into a bucket to pay for repairs. But when that money ran out, then the contract that you held didn't do you any good. And so that's why we'll back all of our contracts with an insurance carrier. Mobile mechanic, we don't like to offer policies with waiting periods, 30 days or 1,000 miles. And it's like, some people might take a year to put 1,000 miles on their RV, right? And so there's different things. So to your point, as a broker, we're only going to offer products that we stand behind. And then that way, when you come to us and say, what are my options? We can show you kind of more than just a cookie cutter, just a one-stop shop policy.
I did a little research before we're having this interview, and I saw a couple of things on social media where people say you don't need an extended warranty, you can just cover it with your insurance. And so I dove into that a little bit, and it's interesting that, insurance products like auto insurance or RV insurance, they cover mostly items like collision or natural disaster type stuff. but they don't cover things like mechanical failures, which I think is where the extended warranty comes in, correct?
It is, and there's that kind of correlation when you talk about warranties or extended warranties and insurance. And I think you articulated that really well. You have your comp and collision and liability, which you most likely will carry on your auto. But then you have the mechanical component, and I think if you take a couple of steps back and run a scenario through, if your slide won't go in at the campground, AAA and State Farm aren't going to be able to assist you with that, and probably in any way. Now, if there's a windstorm and your awning rips off or the roof rips off, yeah, AAA, State Farm, they'll be able to help with that. But to your point, regular insurance, so comprehensive collision and liability, is very similar to auto. So kind of using that crank window as an example, you want to really be able to file a claim with AAA or State Farm in regards to your window not rolling up. You would go to the dealer and you'd have it repaired. And right, wrong, or indifferent, comp and collision insurance, warranty, extended warranty, liability, they kind of all get put in the bucket of insurance or protection of some kind for the RV. But really, at the end of the day, your comp and collision insurance, your liability insurance, it's there to protect the rig in case of one of those things happens. But in the example of the slide out, if the slide isn't going back in, isn't coming out, microwave, refrigerator, AC unit, leveling system, all those different things aren't going to be covered by your regular car insurance or RV insurance.
Yeah, and I think it's also another thing I learned, and something that I think you mentioned a little bit earlier, is your regular routine maintenance, like oil changes. I call it kind of preventive maintenance type stuff that you should be doing, also is not covered under an extended warranty.
Yeah, regular maintenance items aren't covered under, to my understanding, any extended service contract. But they are, they do ask, and there is some writing in there that says we would like you to follow those guidelines. So your oil changes, transmission fluid, working lights, all those things are excluded from an extended service contract. But as the owner, you are kind of responsible for maintaining your rig, and to your point, to be proactive with those types of maintenance items.
Yeah. So we've talked about kind of what a warranty is and what it isn't. So why would someone consider getting an RV extended warranty?
A lot of it's going to depend on that end user or that the client. What I can tell you is why people decide to go with an extended warranty. First is it is a pretty expensive investment, and a lot of our clients may not be 100% comfortable with the DIY, and they just want that extra kind of level of support for when and if things go wrong. Another reason, and I think kind of our reviews will speak to it, is when a breakdown occurs, it is very reassuring to know that you can just pick up the phone and call someone who can guide you with the information that you're looking for, whether it's a repair facility, whether it's trying to troubleshoot that item, whether it's a mobile mechanic to kind of come out. Because kind of as I mentioned before, breakdowns don't always happen in the driveway or close to a repair facility. And so sometimes you're out of your element. You may not know what the right step would be. And the other component of that too is that, where we are with our economy, prices are going up, right? And so having an administrator on your side with the repair facility, the amount of monies or dollars that are negotiated, and I'll use some examples there. would be bringing your rig into a repair facility and the warranty company kind of pushing back and saying, listen, this repair should be 6 hours, not 10 hours. And that, I don't know, $175 to $250 an hour, that can be a lot of money, so it's having, and I think that's probably as a broker and as a support system for our clients, that's probably one of the bigger benefits that we offer, is that kind of peace of mind, knowing that the repairs that are being done are being done correctly and within the right dollar amount. Personally, and from the feedback from our clients that we get, the benefit of being able to have a mobile mechanic, to be able to have an 800 number to call when things, are going awry. And also, there's a handful of our policies that if you so choose, you can get things like trip interruption that can help you with hotels or food spoilage or, just these different things that if you own an RV long enough, it's only a matter of time before, something goes wrong. Again, not everybody's a DIYer. Not everybody is comfortable fixing their rig. And it's not always convenient when you have a breakdown.
Yeah, I like that you guys are including the mobile repair guys in there, because I think nowadays I believe it's the best option to go with, that they're able to come to you and take care of you. So that's great that you guys are including mobile repair under your contract.
And, a small asterisk there. So all the policies that we offer, they can be repaired by any repair facility, right? They accept billing from any repair facility. What that really equates to is a EIN or a business license that says that's what you're in the business to do. So I should say that.
Okay.
Like you can't have a friend or a neighbor at a campground say, yeah, I just fixed the flux capacitor and that'll be $500. So I use the flux capacitor a lot.
I like that.
It's also scary because probably a third of our staff doesn't know what I'm referring to. But the mobile mechanic feature is nice, and our owner has done an excellent job making sure that that's in our contracts, because it's not uncommon. If you think about the RV resorts or campgrounds, how big they are and how many people are there, if you take a few steps back, it's not hard to think that there might be one or two licensed repair guys or gals in that facility. And so talk about, the ease of taking the analogy of the slide or the awning that stuck out, right? You can either drive X amount of miles to the repair facility with the hazards on, scared as you got two hands at 9 and 3 or whatever the recommendation is in today's world, versus having somebody come out and say, you don't have to drive, in a scared state. We'll troubleshoot it here. I think that, along with the waiting period, the 30 days or 1,000 miles, I think those are the little things that help ensure that we're supporting our customers in the right way.
We were at an RV event, and some people that were parked near us had a breakdown that was going to be about, I think it was a motor issue, and it was going to be about $6,000 for them to repair it. And they didn't have an extended warranty, and they also didn't have $6,000 in their pocket to be able to spend to make this repair. So they basically had to stop, and they did a GoFundMe and just crossed their fingers until they had enough money to make the repair and were able to get back on the road. So I think that's another issue where an extended warranty is very helpful, because you're going to have a deductible, but it's not going to be in a major repair. It's not going to be the cost of the repair that you're paying.
For the audience that's listening, I mean, you guys know your rigs better than anybody else, but there are so many things that can really deter a trip, right? Small things from a refrigerator to large things like an engine. The dollar amount is definitely one, right? If you have something in the engine or transmission, it's a fortune just to tow it, and then it's another kid's college savings to repair it. And the warranties, to be honest, the warranties are just, they're nowhere near as expensive, obviously, as the rig. And for a lot of our clients, the price makes sense, right? That it's only X amount of dollars, either for the next X amount of months or upfront to protect this rig for years. Because some of the policies, I think we're writing now up to 7 or 8 years on certain makes and models and years, and that's locked in, right? So even as inflation and the price of everything is going up, that rate for that warranty is locked in for an extended time period. But yeah, those are the ones that hurt, is hearing the stories of whether it be the GoFundMe, whether it was overnight on the freeway, myself having 2 young kids and just thinking about that experience, what I wouldn't pay at that moment in time to at least be able to make a phone call and be like, can you just get me somewhere safe? Like, even if it's a local hotel or what have you. But those are the stories that kind of hurt the most, because some people don't know that these options are out there. Oftentimes people think, well, I missed my chance at the dealer, right? And now I'm kind of stuck. And I think about my last, when my wife and I bought our most recent car, after what seemed like college course in the car market, then at the very end they're like, do you want an extended warranty for this amount of money? And at that time I politely said, well, I work for a warranty company, I think I'm set. A lot of people don't know that, Sean, if you were buying a rig from Ken, there's an extended warranty option there for you. A lot of people are unaware of that, and so we try to get our message out and let people know that if that's an option you want to explore, we're here to help you understand what that options look like.
Yeah, that's a really good point, that you can, when you're buying used, whether it's from a dealership or from an individual, you have an option. There's options available to get some coverage there.
Yeah, and that's, I think that for us, that's a market that we want to educate the most, in the essence of, when you go to a dealer, you're expecting at some point that they're going to offer you a warranty of some kind, right? And, my personal take on that is dealers are there to buy and sell rigs, right? That's their job, or that's their business line. We only do extended warranties. That's what we're in business to do. When you're buying private, there's a whole different uneasy feeling about that, right? And so we do an inspection on that. Well, that way our client and the administrator is on the same page with the results of the inspection as the third party. We actually do it even if it's a dealer, because we don't want any, like even a PDI, right? A pre-delivery inspection from a dealership. We don't want a inspection that was cited on one side. So we do a third party inspection just to make sure everybody's on the same page, say, this is the current condition of the rig. Let's move on. And then we don't have a waiting period. But I do think that private to private one is where we want to say, hey, there's options out there. If you're interested, great. And you want to hear more, we'd love to educate you. If you're not interested, just knowing that we're here is kind of completing that objective.
Yeah. And I think for people that are thinking like, well, what's the chances of me really needing to use it or having a repair? I think all you have to do nowadays is go to, even at a campground, you'll see a lot of these mobile repair guys out of campgrounds, more than I've ever seen before. And if you go to a service center, they'll say, yeah, if you drop it off today, we could probably get your rig back to you in like 6 months, because that's how slam packed they are. I mean, repairs are happening on a maybe an alarming rate even. And I'm not sure if that's a little bit with the increase of sales for RVs, there's been a huge bump, and maybe manufacturers are pumping them out a little faster than they used to, and maybe quality's down, but it's really an issue right now as far as repairs are going. Like they're happening. These repairs are happening.
I mean, you kind of have the perfect storm, right? You have a huge increase in popularity shortly after the pandemic started, right? So middle of 20, we just saw like an explosion. But what also you found during that time is a whole bunch of people who did not know anything about RVs, right? So they were treated in a certain fashion. You have a backlog with all the top manufacturers that just goes on and on and on. And you have some new guys coming into play saying, hey, I can whip these out really quick and catch some of the demand that's out there. So you do, I think, to your point, I think you have some quality control. You also have some novice users, if you will, for a certain period of time. And then you have the repair facilities who are also, navigating, whether it be pandemic, whether it be cost inflation, wage inflation, all these different things that says, and parts, right? Parts, especially coming from abroad, got held up. So you got this like perfect storm where if you weren't a mobile mechanic and you are a DIYer, I mean, I would get a business license and say, hey, I can do this stuff. Get a quick umbrella insurance policy and tote around the campgrounds for a little bit. But it seems as if it's getting to kind of a flat line, which is kind of nice on the repair facility side, because that's really where people feel the most comfortable and confident is when it's there, mostly because it can be lifted up, right? So especially if you're talking leveling system or engine or powertrain, stuff like that, you want to be able to get it on a lift, and there's only a handful of lifts that can lift a rig like that.
What about like some of these new startups or custom vans and things like that? Do you guys offer any type of contract for like maybe a custom van builder? If somebody bought a van that was custom and maybe they're not, maybe they're not a big manufacturer, maybe they only put out like 10 vans a year or something like that. Is that something that's possible?
It is possible. So we're seeing a pretty big increase in Bs, Class Bs, that can be converted to, kind of owner's delight. A lot of them, the custom requests that we do get, we might just submit to the underwriter just to say, are you comfortable with this? Most of them, because it's the mechanical components that they're insuring, right? So they're there to say if this mechanical component breaks, it'll be paid for. So their first inquiry is to say, well, how many mechanical components are there? And what are we looking at? Are we looking at a Sprinter that had a purchase price of 30 grand? Or are we looking at a Sprinter that had a purchase price of 150 grand? And what kind of electronics are running it? A lot of the custom stuff will come back to what is the scope of the manufacturer. Are you within those lines? And I often use a refrigerator, washer and dryer as an example, and I'll tie it back to the custom ones. If your rig is spec'd for a certain wattage for refrigerator or washer and dryer, and you put in a bigger one, what is the domino effect of that, right? And so that would have to kind of go into the custom section. Is are you following the guidelines? And really, even if it's 10, that would probably be the lowest that most underwriters would go for. But we request new manufacturer trims often because we get a lot of, hey, I got this rig, I'm not overly familiar with it, what options do we have? And so, we have to ask the underwriter for permission, but we quote stuff like that each and every day.
Okay.
I think it's pretty clear that if I repaired something that failed on my RV, I obviously couldn't claim it through the warranty because I repaired it. I'm not a licensed person to do RV repairs. But what if I had some aftermarket modifications done to my RV? Would that stuff be covered under an extended warranty as well?
And we're getting more and more of those types of inquiries. And so I think when it comes to aftermarket stuff, you separate cosmetic and mechanical or electrical. So on the cosmetic side, we're not really insuring or backing those things. So new cabinets, flooring, all that kind of stuff, you're kind of on your own, same as you would have been before. As far as solar panels, lighting, electronics, AC units, water, all those things, we'd always go back to the contract, right? So we'll walk a client through the fine print on the contract on what it says, particularly on that particular admin, what they say about aftermarket or add-ons.
Okay.
For a good rule of thumb, kind of back to the custom, as long as it's following within the lines that rig is intended to do, and it's done either by a licensed repair facility or manufacturer approved facility, usually those can be grandfathered in. Because people are getting so fancy with their add-ons, I don't want to say it's a case by case, but it's always, well, let's look at the contract that you have or that you're looking to get. Let's review this section where it literally will call it out and say, okay, what are you planning to do and who are you planning to do it? Unfortunately, if you were going to install your own solar panels that were going to do A, B, and C, you're probably not going to get the response you're looking for there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have your local RV repair facility or manufacturer that specializes in it and it's within the guidelines, then that would become part of the warranty itself.
So you guys,
I hope that answered it.
Yeah, that was perfect. But you guys will, when somebody, let's say I go on your website and I request a quote, and somebody's going to contact me and kind of walk through the options, including the fine print, so the customer is fully aware of what's covered and what isn't when they're looking at the options.
Yeah. So thinking of a funny component, which is, nobody wakes up one morning and says that they want to sell extended warranty contracts as an online broker to an RV space with an educated consumer, right? It's like, well, you're an extended warranty company, strike one. You're online, strike two. It's like, okay, well, here we are. We vetted this probably about a year and a half ago about putting our policies online and just letting our consumers buy online. And we ran the gamut of, what that might do for sales and all this other stuff. And really, the reason that you don't see that is one of the main reasons that our owner started this company 15 years ago is he still holds strong that we should hear the story of how they're using their rig, what their concerns are. Don't just give one solution, right? Listen to the story, pick the program that you would recommend if it was your spouse, parent, what have you, and make sure they understand what it is, what it isn't, and how to use it. And so some of our clients will let us know, like, gosh, I submitted a quote 20 minutes ago and I didn't get any email back of my price. Well, if you're just looking for price, we may not be the right fit for you, because we're here for 2 years from now. If you forgot your policy number, if you forgot the 800 number, if you're broken down on the side of the road and you need somebody to call, that's what we're here to do. We're here, for, hey, I got a repair done and the bill was $1,000 and the warranty company only paid $400. All right, well, let's dive into it, and so you can understand either why that happened, or let us go to the administrator and say, hey, this extra $600, this should have been covered under contract exclusion K. This one should have been under Y. You need to reimburse the customer that dollar amount. So to answer your question, Sean, yeah, like if you go online and ask for information or submit a quote or submit your information to receive a quote, most likely you'll get a call within a business day from one of our warranty specialists who are going to ask you a couple of questions, and that's on design. The design is to understand how you're going to use your rig. Are you going to have it 2 years or 8 years? Are you going to just see the grandkids 3 times a year, or are you full-time RVing? Because that way, instead of just saying, here's the warranty, here's the warranty that we offer, we're able to say, here are the 2 or 3 options. I'd recommend this one. However, this is what you have available to you.
Okay.
I like that you guys customize it. When somebody has the extended contract with you guys and they go to a repair facility, they pick somebody out, at what point should they tell the facility that they have a contract with Wholesale Warranties? And follow-up is, are they paying out of pocket and then they get reimbursed? How does the actual transaction of payment work?
And both are good questions, because I know both are concerns for our clients, right? So first thing is when to let the repair facility know that you have an extended warranty contract. Sooner the better, because in a perfect claim scenario, the repair facility is working mostly with the administrator, and they're working on the parts, the pieces, the hours, all that stuff. Also, in a perfect world, a customer shouldn't have to go through reimbursement. That is in a design. All of our claims are paid by credit card, over the phone, usually really quick. So that shouldn't happen. Now, in the case that it does, because the first thing that we'll tell you, if you're broken down and it's the middle of the night and you can't get the warranty company on the phone, handle it yourself, like get yourself and your family safe, and we'll take care of it in the morning. I promise. Everything will work out. The pre-authorization or the notification to the administrator is probably the very first step that you want to take, because that's initiating the claim. It's initiating, the steps that the repair facility is going to take to diagnose the issue, and it establishes that contact that they have before the repairs are done. So if a repair facility starts the repairs, then they're going to be looking for payment for that. So our recommendation is the moment you show up at the repair facility is to tell them that you have an extended service contract.
So I would imagine it's the same for if you have a mobile tech, like if a mobile tech, maybe even tell the mobile tech before he even arrives, like when you make the phone call, let them know that you will be using the service contract.
Yeah, I think it's always good to be upfront or clear with what you have going on, right? I think, or what we would recommend is that whether it's a mobile tech repair facility, let them know that you have an extended contract. You either have it in front of you, or you've called us, we've emailed it to you, or you've given you the pertinent information on it. I think all of those things, you follow kind of that path, unless you're in a scenario where it's just safety's first, right? And we'll stress that. But I think, whether it's mobile mechanic or the RV dealer, hey, I'm bringing the rig in for this, and this, and I have an extended contract that I'm going to be utilizing during this repair.
Okay, nice.
So well, I guess it's more like what RVs, with you guys, what RVs can qualify for an extended service contract?
Right now, we're able to offer up to 20 model years back. So if we're in, and to look down at the date, we're in 22 already, which means if you have an 02, there is an option out there for you. Now it will depend on, the year. So 02 being the oldest, 05 might have different options, or an 05 with 80,000 miles versus 120,000 miles may have different options. What we would say is give one of the warranty specialists a call, and they'll plug it into the system and see if it spits out anything. And if it doesn't, I can guarantee you we're going to look for somebody that does, right? So we want, our goal is that when somebody calls us interested in options, our owner's goal is to be able to at least provide an option for them. The worst thing for us is when we have to say, no, we can't offer, we don't even have an option for you. And we strive, daily to be able to provide that. When you call, we're able to do that. So we're proud to say that we're able to go back 20 model years.
I always like to say that you guys are more age lenient than most campgrounds that I stay at.
Our owner, 20 years ago when he graduated college, he, kind of his first real job out of school was he was an agent. He was an agent for warranty contracts, and he would go into the dealerships and he understood how that worked. But a lot of times he would end up getting the call from the customer saying, can you explain this to me? Can you explain that to me? Or what do I do in this scenario? And it took him a while, right? Because direct to consumer and the dealers not wanting to let go of that ancillary product that they have, it took him a while to build the reputation. But to your point, I mean, the age thing is huge, or, having 60, 80,000 miles on a rig and still being able to get an option, or, the fight, for lack of a better term, for him, the 30 days or 1,000 miles, like to get rid of that in a contract, just in general, it has taken years. And the mobile mechanic and the age, we really try each and every day to be able to provide as many options as we can to a product that we specialize in, right? There isn't anything else that we really dabble in. We just focus on this. So we want to be able that if you call us or if you email us, our goal is that we can at least say, yes, there's an option out there for you for your rig at this dollar amount. Let's talk about what it covers, what it doesn't, how to use it. So, yeah, I like your analogy better. I just wanted to give, or your terminology better. I just wanted to give you a little bit more of the why behind it, because, there is an associated risk with something that was built in 2002, 2003, and it's been used, maybe hardly ever, which also could be really bad, or it's been used and lived in every day. And so it's been a lot of work with the different administrators or warranty companies to say, here's why we want to offer a policy for a 2002.
Yeah. We talked a little bit earlier. You mentioned about the inspection process for RVs, I think in the context of a private seller one we talked about. But is this an inspection that would be similar to one that I would get before I purchased an RV? And like I would hire an RV inspector, a third-party RV inspector to come out and look over the rig and provide me a report. Is it similar to that? Is that what you're talking about?
It's similar but different.
Okay.
So if you were to buy a rig from me, you would ask for a pre-purchase inspection, right? That's what you would go out to find. The inspections that we do are, for all intents and purposes, a pre-warranty inspection. So they're really there to check the mechanical components. They're not really concerned on, is the carpet ripped? They're concerned if the lights turn on and off. Let me go back to the carpet. So they're not overly concerned if the carpet has water damage, but they are concerned if the pipes are leaking or the faucet doesn't work. We will always try to inform and educate our clients that the pre-inspection isn't a buy or don't buy like a pre-purchase one would be. This one is to kind of give you a template of the current condition of the mechanical components of it. We will do a test drive, or they will do a test drive just to make sure the gears and all that stuff is working. Some people will use it. Some of our clients will use it as a leveraging tool, especially if they're buying from a dealer and a third-party inspector goes out there and says, hey, here's the things that I noticed. But then we will provide, a copy of the inspection, the pictures that come along with it. And it's not unusual for people not to buy a rig with it, but we try to stress that this inspection isn't designed for you to either buy or not buy. It's really designed for the warranty company to say, here's what you're going to be protecting. Are you comfortable with that, for lack of a better term?
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm glad I asked that question.
I didn't know you could have that done before you purchased through you guys. I didn't know that you guys offered the inspection before a purchase was even made.
Yeah, so we have a network of inspectors, and we will do it on just about every, it's included in the cost of the warranty, but we'll do it on just about every warranty that we offer or that we sell, unless it's brand new. And we have a nice integration with Carfax to run VINs and tell us, the first date it was sold or the in-service date. But on probably anything we're in 22, anything model year 20 or probably over 5,000 miles, we're going to do an inspection just because we physically can't see it. And that's kind of how we get over the hurdle of a 30-day, 1,000 miles. It's kind of how we get over the hurdle of, hey, that slide won't go in. Let's get an extended warranty right now. It's kind of a neutral document that shows the customer and the admin and us as the broker to say this is the current condition of the rig as far as what it's intended for, which is the purchase of a warranty, an extended service contract.
So you had mentioned earlier, like you've recently purchased a car, and at the end of the whole spiel and everything, they throw the warranty at you at the end and ask you if you want to buy a warranty through the dealership. That happens in the RV world as well. The RV dealerships are selling the warranty. How is wholesale warranty different than buying from the dealer itself?
So, I don't want to talk bad about competitors, right? But if I look at a stereotypical dealership, and I know this doesn't fit all of them because there's some amazing dealers out there. And then there's some dealers that just started yesterday that are learning as they grow. But dealerships, kind of like I mentioned, they're there to buy and sell rigs. And they typically will have one product that they offer universally. And the other concerns or hiccups selfishly that I have is sometimes it's looped into the loan, right? And so if you're financing your rig, all of a sudden you're financing a warranty. And while the warranty is a small percentage in compared to the cost of the rig, it's still money that you're paying interest on or long debt that you have outstanding. The other component of that is, whether it be a month, 6 months, 2 years, and all of a sudden you lost your paperwork or you're having an issue with the administrator. Trying to call a dealership saying, yeah, I bought an extended warranty from you 2 years ago. I'm now down in, Arizona or Texas at this repair facility and they're giving me a hard time. I don't know of any dealers that have a department that's there to assist with that phone call, right? Even the policy number and the 800 number, to be frank, where us, at wholesale, we have a team, we have a department that's literally claims support that will help our clients navigate whatever scenarios they have, whether it's I lost my policy number and I need to file a claim, whether it's I'm in the middle of a claim and I don't know what's going on because the repair facility and the admin are kind of keeping me out of the loop, to, hey, I broke down last night, I got a tow for $1,200 and I paid it. What do I do now? Right. So I can stand firmly and say we have a team of claim support specialists that work on those cases to help our clients in those scenarios. And so it's nothing, again, I don't like to necessarily talk bad about a dealer, but they're not experts when it comes to the warranty. I don't like how some of them loop in the price into the financing. Selfishly, I think that's just kind of shady practice. A lot of our quotes or clients will be used to be later, negotiated with the dealer, right? Hey, I got a quote from Wholesale Warranty. It covers A, B, and C, and the price point is X. The amount of times that you hear a dealer quote a warranty or an extended warranty up here, and then all of a sudden drastically come down, it goes against our philosophy, right? Our philosophy is, here's what you qualify for, here's your price. If you like it, great. If you don't, we totally understand. The peaks and valleys that a dealer does, specific dealers or some dealers, not all, kind of muddies that water, right? So when it comes to dealership purchases of extended warranty contracts, there's just, if as a consumer you're going to do that, what we would ask is to call us so you could educate yourself on what it is that they're selling, because chances are really high that they have one option for you. They probably just give you a pamphlet and that's it, and then kind of send you on your way. And you don't know if the price you paid was really inflated. You don't know if it was decent. Hopefully it wasn't wrapped into your loan unless you specifically asked it to be. It's not where their crosshairs or their focus is, right? And for us, we can say we prefer for you to just get a give us a call. We have no problem educating you on what things cover, what they don't. And at least that way you're armed or educated with that information prior to making that decision.
Yeah, I think it's not necessarily any fault of the finance department at the dealership. It's just like you said, that's not their primary job. Or you guys, this is what you focus on, and so you're able to really provide more education and understanding versus a trifold, that tells you what you're
Pamphlet.
covered. Yeah.
Yeah, and the trifold, I mean, that it doesn't irk us, but it is what it is, right? It's the industry that we've elected to be in. There's so many benefits that they can help you with. I think the unfortunate part on some dealers is that when you get that trifold, you're still spending a decent amount of money on it. A lot of times the consumer doesn't know what they have. Mm-hmm. And to me, selfishly, that just sucks. If nothing else, we would prefer to educate you or educate anyone to say, if you're going to have that pamphlet, just understand what it is that you purchased and be confident with it.
Yeah.
Or comfortable.
If people go on your website or read reviews, you guys have great customer service, it seems like, as far as, getting people educated and really trying to help the consumer make the best decision for what they have. Can you speak to the company's focus on customer service and how your team is educated as far as all of this warranty knowledge goes?
I think a lot of it starts with the beginning. Our owner, he grew up in Minnesota. His family was in the marine business, so he had exposure to RVs and watercrafts at a young age. After graduating college, he became an agent. He was calling on the dealers, and it almost organically came where his friends were asking him his recommendation on what he should get, and then with the dealership customers calling him on the different levels and explaining things, organically he was like, well, I think I can just go direct to them. If I give them a pamphlet with my number on it, what's the big difference there? And he was also an RVer. He had an RV. He decided one day, as all 20 some odd year old men do, he got in an RV and drove from Minnesota to San Diego because he heard it was nice, and he broke down. You'll have to get him on and listen to his story. He can tell a lot better than I, but he broke down and it was not great. That's where kind of the idea really started to gain traction. And so the company wasn't started to make money or to have a certain type of livelihood or anything like that. The company started because he found a way to get a product in front of people and educate them about it. And I think, our team, I couldn't have, and I will tell them this often, I don't think I've worked with a better team. We're still a small unit. We're a diverse group of knuckleheads. There's about 20 of us. We'll put the customer first, and kind of our simple philosophy is if we take care of our customers and we take care of our employees, growth and the rest of it will come, right? If we focus on those two things, then we can really build something fun here and a good product. And at the end of it, I think our customer service, to your point, we're very proud of our reviews. It is a lot of work, right? It's your claims business. So some of the phone calls are really good. Majority of them are, oh my gosh, what do I do right now? But with the right education, sharing the stories that our clients have when they break down, but more importantly than that, listening to them, right? The mobile mechanic didn't just appear out of nowhere, or mobile mechanics didn't come to us. It was from listening to the stories of the breakdown and, getting those into the contract. The customer service, it's kind of ingrained since day one that's who we're here for, and that's what we're here to do. And if we take care of our customers, and then on the management side, if we take care of our employees, all the other business stuff should fall in line. And as long as that continues to be our focus, I'm hoping that we'll be around for a long time.
Yeah, that's good to hear, and I think Kenny and I both agree that, we talk to a lot of companies through this podcast, and the ones that are successful over the years are the ones that have that attitude about customer service and taking care of their employees. So that's I think that's a real positive on your guys' part. I have one more question. I don't know if you have this information or if you guys track it or anything, but what are the most common reasons people file a claim? Like, is it motor? Is it a microwave? What are the most common reasons?
So majority of our calls are, I bought a while ago, what is my policy number and the telephone number to make a claim? That's the majority of them. But I think your specific question is issues that arise in an RV. And I think our most recent data from the administrators has swayed a little bit just with the pandemic. We saw a lot more full-timers, a lot more people going remote. And so we saw a lot more plumbing, which wasn't, it was in the top 5, but it was pretty solid at 4 or 5. And it kind of jumped up over probably the last 12 months rolling. And we're kind of chalking that up to a lot of people just working remotely from an RV. But sled outs, I believe, have maintained number 1. Leveling systems, I think, is number 3. And then AC units or air conditioning, and then black tanks or kind of putting that in with plumbing are kind of your bigger ones because they're kind of universal, both for motorhome and towable, depending on the rigs. The engines, I wouldn't go as far as few and far between. They're few and less far between now. It seems like they happen, and they're a high ticket item, so it's not uncommon for the warranty company to send out an inspector to look at the engine oil and transmission fluid and kind of all that stuff and find out the reason why. But I would say your bigger ones, both on towable and motorhome, are your AC unit, your plumbing, your slide, and leveling system is up there as well.
It's a shame that the slide is up there in one of the top 5 because it's such a great feature to have in an RV. but I do know they're problematic as well. But man, it's what a difference when you open them up and the room expands.
Oh, I mean, it reminds me of our my parents still have it. I want to say it's a 74 Volkswagen Adventure bus. So it has the fiberglass hardtop, but it didn't expand, right? You had the only expansion was a cot over the driver's seat and the passenger seat, and that's where my sister slept. But to think about, how much more space it creates. And a lot of it's coming back to just actually weight. So people putting more weight on the slide than it's supposed to and getting it offline. We're in the bucket where that's just a little bit more of your novice user, because you got to really, not that you really have to try to do it, but it might be your first few times in an RV where you have, that's just kind of learning the ropes, for lack of a better term. But yeah, slides can be finicky sometimes.
So I think that's all of our questions for you, Jim, unless there was something that we might have missed or that you want to add before we let you go.
No, I think it was very informative. I appreciate you guys having us on. I know I worked with Missy and Stacy a little bit with you guys onboarding. We're excited. I'm assuming similar to you guys, off the comment you said earlier, Sean, about the interviews you have with different companies. We are very kind of picky on who we partner with, right? Because the brand is not only ours, but it's everybody that we're linked to. So I know we're excited. So you'll have to get Jeff on at some point. He has better stories than I. Mine had to do with an orange VW bus in the redwoods in Northern California, and his actually has to do with RVs breaking down and him thinking he was a DIYer until he found himself not being able to be a DIYer, and kind of hence the creation and push for wholesale warranties.
Cool. Very cool. Well, thanks. We definitely appreciate your time. We appreciate the partnership that we're here building with you guys right now, and we look forward to the future.
We want to thank Jim for coming on the show. Wholesale warranties are the real deal. They have years of experience in the industry and know how to tailor a warranty to fit your specific needs. With an extended service contract from Wholesale Warranties, you can protect your RV's mechanical components from any potential problems that may arise. And their free quotes and education make it easy and affordable for you to get coverage today. Click on the link in the show notes so they know you heard about them on the podcast. We also want to thank Battleborn Batteries for their support of the podcast since the beginning. If you want a great lithium battery, solar equipment, or any other electrical components, along with great customer service, click on the link in the show notes to see what they have to offer. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Safe travels.
This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety, so go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.